Hey Groovers, the new launch of Orbitz is officially out, and I want to give you a quick tour to understand a little bit more about how they work and why we made the changes we did. Now they are a one-way connection, so you do not need to send an Orbit request. It functions a lot more like a follow, where it's one way. You can just tap that button to add someone to your Orbit if you think that their bio looks interesting, or maybe you know them from outside of Groove, or you grooved with them in the past and want to add them. So I'll give you the quick lowdown. Let's go ahead and get to it.
All right, here we are. So if you tap your picture in the top left corner to go to your profile, you'll see that you have these three numbers: the number of grooves you've done, the number of grooves you've done this week, and the number of people in your orbit. These numbers are now tappable. So this is where you will find the number of people that are in your orbit and be able to control who is in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap the 6 people that are in my orbit. You can see who those 6 humans are, and you can also see all of the people who have added you. So if I go to the Added Me tab, I can see that Tova recently added me. So I have the option to hit add back or ignore it. If I wanna see who Tova is and a little bit more about her, of course, I can tap her profile and read a bit about her that way. So I'm gonna click add. Tova looks cool, and as you probably know by now, your orbit is your group of familiar faces inside a Groove and the people you'd love to meet in Groove. Once you have 25 people in your orbit, then you can create orbit-only grooves. So I'll show you what that looks like. If you go back to the home screen and tap start in the top right corner, then you'll see the option for my orbit only. And that way you can create a groove where only people in your orbit can join. Friends of Friends is the idea that you can create an groove that is for your orbit and then your friends' orbits. So that's a little bit of background of what you're working towards as you're building up and curating your orbit if you've been on Groove for a while and are going back and making changes to your orbit at this point, given that they do function differently than they used to. One of the other things that is worth noting, if you go back to your profile and tap settings in the top right, that's where you would find anyone that you've blocked inside of Groove. So that means that is someone that you do not want to end up in a groove with. I don't have anyone blocked yet, so I'm going to show you what that looks like. So we're going to look up Josh. So whether he is in my orbit already or not, I am able to tap block. I'm also able to now tap report, which is a way for you to send feedback to the team. Let's say for whatever reason, someone made you feel uncomfortable inside of a groove and you want to let the team know so that we can maybe reach out to them or talk to you further about the situation. You can share that right here and we'll be notified of that feedback. Keep in mind that Groove is a very social platform, and so a block doesn't necessarily mean that someone did something wrong. It also can mean that you just simply don't vibe with that person, you don't want to end up in grooves with them again. So please note that they cannot see that they've been blocked on your end, and you can always reverse this. So if you were to go to your profile, like I mentioned before, tap settings, and scroll down, you'll be able to see the people you've blocked underneath your email. So that's where I can choose to unblock Josh. I also could go directly to his profile and unblock him that way too by clicking the 3 dots. So if you are a longtime groover, you might be watching this thinking, oh my gosh, I just cannot wait to go into my orbit and start to clean things up so that it can be a more meaningful orbit to me and truly represent the people that I love grooving with and want to keep seeing in grooves. Again, before it was automatic that everyone was added to your orbit. Now that's a setting you can change, so you can always go back and add people that you have grooved with. But if you want to go and curate your list, like I said, tap the number of people in your orbit, and you can go through here and easily change that by going to each person's profile and removing them from your orbit. This is also where you can change that default setting. So if you do not want Groove to auto add people that you groove with to your orbit, you can change that right above Dee's name in this example. You can also tap the number of grooves that you've done this week to see who the people are that you've recently grooved with. So let's say you met someone in a groove, you turned off the auto add settings, so they were not auto added to your groove right after, but you really vibed with them and you want to meet them again in a groove soon. You can go back to your old grooves and say, great, I want to add Rosemary, let me go ahead and add to my orbit. So that is the quick overview of Orbitz. If you have any questions or feedback, we are all ears. Just send us a message at hello@groove.ooo, like out of office, and have fun growing and curating your orbit.